story of the worst date that I have ever been on. My favorite part about this whole story is that I didn't even know it was a date. It happened during the summer, and one day I just randomly got a text from this guy that I knew, and he was basically saying that we need to hang out, like, I'm afraid I'm not gonna, like, see you anymore, like, yada yada yada. Like, acquaintances at best. You know, we had a couple of mutual friends, but me and him never talked. I'm like, why are you, like, trying to hang out with me? Fortunately for me, I'm a really big people pleaser, and I hate conflict, so I was like, okay. Clearly I agree to go, and he starts making the plans, and he's just like, oh my gosh, we need to go somewhere, like, fancy, because I know you love dressing up, and I like dressing up, like, let's put on something just, like, really cute looking and go somewhere expensive. Keep in mind, I was also just very much in my broke era at this point, so I was like, bro, I'm not trying to spend $50 on a dinner. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we can dress up if you want to, but let's keep it budget friendly, you know? He's like, oh, no, like, I'll pay for you, don't even worry about it, like, I got it. And I was like, whoa, I don't want you to pay for it, because this is sounding like it's a date. And so I tell him, I'm like, no, like, I got it. He gets very defensive. He's like, no, like, I do this for all my friends. Like, if I can do it for my friends, like, I can do it for you. I mean, okay, if you say so. At some point, he texts me saying we need to FaceTime to plan it out, and I'm just like, why do we need to FaceTime to plan out a dinner? But whatever. But I think this is where things got lost in translation. Something about me, I'm a yap. I'm a big yapper, and so I get on this FaceTime call with him, and even if I don't like someone, I can yap away about literally anything. So I'm just talking to him for, like, probably like an hour or two, and this is in his head. He's like, yeah, like, I got this girl in the bag, but I'm just there, just like la-di-da-di-da, like, you know, just like yapping away about what's going on in my life. And at the end of the call, he was like, oh, sorry, are you trying to make this like more than a hangout? And I was like, no, we're not. I was talking to this guy that I was really interested in, which wasn't a lie, although I wish it was, because that guy ended up being like the worst human being I've ever met in my life. I tell him no, and he really doesn't make a big deal about it. He's like, okay, no worries. Let's just do something more casual then, because I don't want to make it awkward since you're talking to that guy. Like, no problem. And I'm feeling a little more comfortable about the whole situation. I mean, he did try to ask me out, but, you know, he said we were hanging out as friends. Like, it was confirmed that we were hanging out as friends. So I was like, okay, we're chilling. So we get to the restaurant, I order, he's very insistent that he pays, and I was like, okay, I mean, if you want to, I can definitely pay for myself, but I mean, if you want to cover it, like, go for it, I guess. I'm just catching up, and then he made a comment, and he was just like, oh my gosh, like, I told my friends that I was going out with you, and they're like, oh my god, no way, like, how did you get her to go out with you? And I was just like, go out? Like, I'm confused. Babe, this is a hangout. Like, I think something got lost in translation. I realized during the hangout, he's trying to make it a date. And so the only thing I can think to do is start yapping away about the guy that I was talking to. Yap away I did. I talked about that man for at least 30 or 45 minutes, something like that. I could tell that the guy was like kind of pissed off, because clearly that was not the direction he wanted the conversation to go. But I was really good at talking about this man, because I was obsessed with him. He asked to see a picture of this guy. I think he was trying to figure out what my type was, and unfortunately for him, that guy's just not really my type. But I show him a picture, and the picture I showed him, this guy was leaning on his car, and he drove a really nice car, and he was like, that's so, like, corny that he's just posing in front of a random car. And I was like, no, like, that's his car, he bought it with his own money. Like, it's not, I mean, I still hate when guys flex their cars, but at least it's not some, like, random ass car that's not his. For whatever reason, that just flipped a switch in this guy's mind, and he starts going off on me. He's like, oh my god, like, you're such a gold digger, you're only with this man for his money, like, you literally only came here because you just wanted free food, you forced me to pay. And I was like, whoa, where is this coming from? Like, you need to calm down. He starts getting a little aggressive, mostly passive aggressive, but there's a little aggression in there. And he's just like, well, you're not my type anyway, like, you're so flat, like, I wouldn't want to be with someone that has your body type. Like, okay, I don't know why you had to bring that up, because I'm a very self-aware person. Like, I know I'm flat-chested, and it's okay, it's not insecurity, it's not something I love about myself, but it is what it is. I'm trying to get under my skin, but it just, like, wasn't working out for him, because I literally just did not give a fuck. Like, I was not trying to get his validation. His validation was not important to me. He starts going off on me, talking about how I'm just, like, fake, and I'm, like, not attractive, X, Y, and Z, and I'm just there like, okay, because he was my ride there. So I couldn't really do anything because I didn't have a ride home. He was my ride, so I was just sitting there waiting for him to finish his tangent. Eventually, after, like, 25, 30 minutes of him just, like, yelling at me, telling me I'm ugly. He's like, okay, like, let's go home now. I haven't talked to him since, although he is in my DMs, just being like, wow, you're so hot, like, let me take you out. And I'm just like, no.
What is the worst date you have ever been on? I was honestly not prepared for some of these answers. Welcome to episode 1 of Chit Chat with Kate. Today we'll be discussing your worst date experiences. He rang his dad for a tenner. The bill was only £40. Yeah. If you ask a girl on a date, you should be paying, and it's £40. Babe, don't take a girl on a date if you're not going to pay for it. When he tried putting his hand around me in the cinema and his breath smelled like dog poo. It happened to me in a club. This boy would not leave me alone. He asked me if he wanted to buy me a drink when I literally just bought a drink. Someone's like in your personal space and you're just like, get away, and then you can, the breath smelled like he had used dog poo or just poo in general as mouthwash. It's quite traumatizing. It's quite vile, if I'm honest. Honestly, when I used to go out club when I was single, I used to actually just pretend I had a boyfriend so people would leave me alone. Went for a bottomless brunch and I was sick on the table. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's something that I would do. In fact, I have kind of done that. Me and my boyfriend came in from a night out and we literally was throwing up in the bin and in a bag next to each other for about half an hour straight. We've all been there. This guy told me that he'd been to prison for murder. First date was a double date and he ignored me and spoke to my friend the whole time. He would have been in the bin straight away. Double date for your first date, you're not even getting to know that person. Do you know what I mean? It's very hard to get to know one person in a group of 4 people. I feel like double dates are really fun. Like, I've been on a double date and it was so fun, but when we'd both been together, do you know what I mean? Like, both couples were actually official. We've had time to go on dates, get to know each other, be actually together, and then enjoy a double date. Double dates are really fun, but maybe not as a first. This one is perhaps my favourite one ever. Took me to Spoons and made me pay when it was his idea. Say your hand up if that has ever happened to you, because I feel like that is a universal experience. Maybe not universal. National? I don't know. Be wrong. Spoons is great for pre-drinks. As a first date, and making you pay. Spoons is cheap. Hey, come on. I was meeting a guy for a date and he fainted on his train and had to be taken to hospital. That's not funny. In fact, that's actually not funny. I hope he's okay. But also, like, why is that giving me the ick? No, that's actually really mean. Okay, I hope he's okay. But told me he's taking me for a nice meal, but instead got picked up and drove to a car park. Know what he wanted. Yes, we do. Girls, if a boy ever offers to pick you up to go for a drive, come for a drive with me, no, block, remove, see you later. If that boy is not taking you on a date and paying for that first date, don't waste your time. Okay, we got that clear? Yeah, okay. Have indeed saved the best to last, because this one really tickled me, and it's probably something that I would do. One time, I shit myself in the middle of the... One time, I shat myself in the middle of a restaurant. You know what? Good on you, girl. Hot girls have stomach problems, okay? End of conversation.
Get ready with me while I tell you how my Hinge date tried to fat shame me. I matched with this guy on Hinge, and for our second date, he decides that we're gonna go to a drive-in movie. For the base, we're using NARS. He picks me up and he's like, let's get food. And I'm like, of course, I know this one plaza. This plaza has a McDonald's and a no frill. So I'm like, why don't we just go get some fries and chicken nuggets? And he's like, I don't eat fast food. I'm like, you know what? That's super understandable. You don't eat fast food. I'll respect that. Even though I was really hungry and I kind of wanted some, that's fine if he doesn't want to get it. So we go to the no frills and I'm like, okay, I want to get some chips and popcorn. And he's like, I don't do chips. And I'm like, okay, well, I do. And keep in mind, at the drive-in movies, you're watching 2 movies, so you're kind of there for a really long time. NARS concealer. He basically is like, I'm not paying for those chips. And I'm like, okay. So we walk on over to the candy aisle. I'm like, oh, let's go get some peanut M&Ms. He's like, no, I don't think that's healthy. Why don't we get some dried mango? And I'm like, holy fuck, what's next? An apple? After a lot of back and forth of him pointing out the different unhealthy snacks that he doesn't like, we decide to get some Sour Patch Kids. Then it's time for us to get a drink. Like a literal normal person, I just go get the normal Gatorade. He's like, oh, are you not gonna get the 0 sugar one? Out of spite, I was like, nope, I'm just getting this one. Rare Beauty blush. At this point, I kind of was like, you know what, we don't mesh well. I could just go home. You know what, I was like, I'll stick it out. Now we're at the drive-in movie and it's time to get popcorn. Because what do people eat when they're at the movies? Popcorn. Standing in line and I'm like, okay, should we get like a large? Should we get a medium? What's the vibe? He's like, I'm not gonna have any. I don't want to have any popcorn. We're up next to go get the popcorn and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the car and set it up. And I just go get the popcorn myself. At this point, I'm kind of just like, oh, why don't you like to eat popcorn or any of these snacks? He was basically like, I play soccer. I can't have that in my body. Basically just goes on this whole tangent about how he can't eat unhealthy food. Elf blush. I asked him what he considered fast food. And I said, oh, do you like Chipotle? Because I love Chipotle. He's like, ew, that's literally disgusting. How could you eat that? And I'm like, oh my God. Don't quote me on this one, but he said something along the lines of, I don't like to eat fast food because I don't want to look like someone who eats fast food. Sephora contour. Basically, anytime I tried to suggest any type of unhealthy fast food, he basically was just like, ew. When all of those foods were something that I clearly wanted to eat, it just made me feel like shit about my body. One thing to have your own eating disorder, but it's another to really project that onto someone else. Even just little things like the peanut M&M and the sugar-free Gatorade. It's like, let me fucking live. Elf highlighter. L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Highly Precision Powder comes naturally in Summer Fridays brown sugar. All this story, guys, is this actually sent me into this whole reflective state. I was like, damn, eating patterns really do affect the type of relationship you're gonna have with someone. I am a big-backed bitch. I'm down to be healthy, but if you think that eating popcorn and eating peanut M&Ms is unhealthy, it's not gonna work. It's like, damn, I need someone who is down to try foods, be a big bag with me, because the whole making me feel like shit for everything I want to eat is not gonna cut it. Moral of the story is, if anyone ever tries to make you feel bad for eating things, just don't go out with them. I never saw this man ever after this, so thank God. But yeah, that is the finished makeup, and that is probably one of the worst dates I went on in 2024.